Hi everyone. I hope my voice is clear and you guys can see me. Okay, so everyone can hear me, right? All right, great. So yesterday we have started with the Oracle uh, RAC. We tried to understand that what is the importance of RAC. So I was talking about there are two important things which is provided by the Oracle RAC. And what is that? Anyone want to tell? There are two important features provided by the RAC. We called it as a correct. So that is high availability and load balancing, correct? So these are the two important things that we always see whenever we discuss about whenever we talked about the RAC. Okay. Now we'll try to understand the next part. Okay, just give me a minute. So click on, let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible now, and let's talk about the RAC now. Okay, so coming to the RAC part. Okay, now those people who are pretty much comfortable with the Oracle DBA, okay, those people who think that they are quite aware about the technology called Oracle DBA, those people who are having some knowledge about the Oracle database administration, these people can easily go to the advanced part of Oracle DBA that we called it as a Oracle RAC. Okay, before I go to the again technical questions and all, okay, whatever we have discussed yesterday, I hope everyone was there and everyone was able to understand the things that we discussed yesterday. But if you have any questions regarding the training and all, please feel free to ask me now, so I will take care of that questions. So I will just unmute everyone. Okay, and if you have any questions, you can unmute and you can ask the question. So according to that, I'll proceed that. Okay, so I'll take the part, but before that I want to understand about if you have any questions regarding the training and all, let me know. I'm there to help you out. So anyone have any questions, you can unmute yourself and you can ask the questions regarding this. So this is the second class of RAC. Yesterday we discussed yesterday or day before yesterday we discussed about the RAC. Okay, but do you have any question, guys? If not, I'll proceed with the technical things. So you guys can unmute, right? Not from now. Okay, now I think you should be able to do that. No, now you should be. Can you guys unmute yourself? Yes, I see you can do. Fine. Okay. No more questions? Yes. Yes. So if you don't have a knowledge, I would suggest you to join the Oracle DBA batch first, that is Oracle Core DBA, and then join the RAC batch. Because many times, like we always take the reference of core DBA batch. Okay, so that's my suggestions. Okay, because now let's take an example that how we apply the patch in single instance and how it is different from in the RAC database. So if you know patching activity in single instance, you can easily understand and try to compare yourself with the RAC databases. But for that, you should have understanding about how we actually do the patching in single instance. Let's take an example. When I'm taking a training on the RAC patching, or let's say I'm taking a training on the RAC upgradation. So you should be always aware about how we upgrade our database in single instance, because that's the way like you will understand RAC. So you need to ask yourself whether you really know these things. If yes, then proceed with the RAC. That's how it works. Clear? Yes. Yes, please. Hmm. Correct. Correct. So that's the reason people are using RAC with the data guard. So this is where you may have two node RAC, where you will have availability based on the instance level, not on the database level. But if you need on database level high availability, then you should come up with the data guard setup also. So the setup will looks like this. Let me show you that. You will have two node RAC will be there. Like you consider that this is my node 1. You consider that this is my node 1 where my instance 1 is running. You consider that this is my node 2 where my instance 2 is running. This is my database, correct? You said that you are saying that this where the database is installed, it's itself is not you are not able to access this database storage. You consider like that. That's the reason we have one more setup, that will be your data guard setup. So this is my RAC setup, okay, and this will be my data guard setup. So this will be considered as my primary side, and this will be considered as my standby side. So whatever data I have here, that data will be replicated here automatically, because this is a data guard. Okay, this is a data guard. So correct. So let's say this is my primary side. Okay, if this primary side is available in the USA location, this will be available in my Singapore location. So if something went wrong to this USA location and complete both the nodes are down, or complete database itself is not available, still I can access my people. Okay, still my people can access from the Singapore location. But for that, you need to convert the standby machine to the primary machine. Correct. So any questions related to the training and all, let me know, because technical questions like we have 2 months of course, will definitely take that everything. Okay, don't worry about that. Yes. same time 8 to 9 p.m., which is the Indian time. So current time, you consider that that will be the timing for classes. 8 to 9 p.m. Monday to Thursday, 4 days in a week. What about other people? Let me know. Please feel free to ask the question, those who are interested for training. Yes. There are two options are there. One option is you can use Oracle VirtualBox, like I usually try to install on your personal laptop, like I showed yesterday also. So you can use this Oracle VirtualBox and you can run your machine here, like you can see that too, like that. Second option is like 16 GB of RAM. 16 GB. Yeah, 16 GB of RAM is required, and we are planning to provide the lab access also. But on the lab side, we are just doing some testing right now, because this is the first time we are going with the rack setup and all. On the lab, I'm saying. So if it is successful by this batch, so we will provide the lab access also, so that you don't need to worry about the resources and all. You can simply take the control and you can do the practice. That is very good if you have, but it's very costly. Everyone cannot afford. But if you have from the office side, then that's really nice. Yeah, actually, cloud side, what they do, like they attach the license also. So that's the reason. So that's the reason. Like it. See, usually here it's just a training, so we don't use any license and all. But if you use Oracle Cloud and set up a rack in the cloud side, it's just 10 minutes of work hardly. Okay, it's very simple. But the thing is that it will append the license of, see, it looks like, the way you use, you will get paid like that. But honestly, it's really costly. Yeah. It's possible, you can do that. So if you see my system, here I have allocate for one node, I have allocate 7 GB. Another node I will allocate again 7 GB. 7 plus 7, 14 GB. 4 GB is enough for to run your Windows 10 machine. Even you can set up in 6.5 GB also. So 16 GB is quite okay to start with the rack. Any more questions? No, I'm not able to hear you. External hard disks, again, like I didn't try that till now, but I think you should be able to do that. But I have not personally done that. Yeah. We can try to do that, okay, but I'm not sure whether it is possible or not. I think it should be done mostly, because at the end, like, if you take the example of servers and all, like there we just plug in and plug out, so normally it should be done. Okay, so coming to the, if you need any information, okay, regarding this training and all, you can reach out to my team. So they will explain you about what is the fee structure. So if you want to know more about the things, like if you are coming for the first time to this, So you can visit our YouTube channel. So if you go here on the YouTube channel, we have a YouTube channel with the name Learnomate Technologies, where you can see here that we have around 17,000 plus, or 17, it's quite high. I think now it's 18,000 around. So 17,000 plus Oracle DBA followers we have. Okay, so you can go here, try to understand ourselves. First of all, see our reviews and then join to the RAC classes. Okay, so you can see many videos are there here, so that will definitely help you to understand about the Oracle DBA concepts. Okay, now let's try to, okay, before I go to the technical part, anyone have any questions? No? Okay, now let's try to understand about Oracle RAC. Okay, so we are going to discuss about the Oracle RAC. Okay, Oracle RAC. So how it is different from the Oracle single instance architecture. Okay, so in single instance architecture, you will have, first of all, you will have a single server will be there, correct? Okay, first of all, you will have a single server. So I'll consider that this is my node 1. On this single server, what you are going to do, you are going to install a Oracle database. So I'm considering that you are going to install Oracle 19c. So as soon as you are going to install a database, here a database instance will be created. So I'm going to give a name like database instance number 1. Okay, now let me mute everyone. Let me revoke the access. Okay, now, so let's consider that this is my node 1 where my instance 1 is running. Okay, and there will be a storage where my database related files will be stored, correct? This is my storage where my database related files will be stored. So what about the database files? Like we have a database files like SP file, control files, data files, archive logs, all these files will be stored. Now by any chance, okay, try to understand, by any chance, if there is something went wrong to my node means basically it's a physical machine, you consider that it is just a CPU. So by any chance, if you are not able to access this node 1, okay, or something went wrong to this server, when I'm using a node or server or machine, it's the same word. Okay, so by any chance, if this node goes down, your database instance will go down, because database instance is just a memory. Okay, and some of the background processes related to the databases, then you will not be able to access a database. Because when user is getting connected, user is always getting connected to the database instance, and database instance is getting connected to the database storage. Now by any chance, if your node goes down, your database instance will go down and you will not be able to access a storage, correct? Usually, if you try to understand the Oracle database architecture, when user 1 is getting connected, he will fire a command like select star from table name, correct? Then we know about the architecture part. What will happen? The syntax checks will happen, semantic check will happen. Then there will be a Oracle optimizer who is going to create an execution plan, correct? All these things will be happen on your memory level only. So if the memory or your instance is not available, what do you think? Do you think that he will get a data? No, right? He will not get a data. This user will not be able to get a data. So to solve this problem on the instance level, so Oracle have come up with the high availability concept. So there are multiple high availability concepts they have introduced. So among them is, we called it as a RAC database. RAC means real application cluster. Now first of all, try to understand about the cluster terminology. See, cluster is not terminology provided by the Oracle. Cluster is a generic terminology. It's a word which is a very generic. What is meant by cluster? Cluster means even though I have multiple nodes are there, like let's say I have a node 1, node 2, and node 3, or you can have more than node 3 also. Even though I have a multiple nodes are there, maybe separated physically, but internally they are doing a same work. We called it as a cluster. So even though you have a three different people are there, like we have a node 1, node 2, node 3, but all are internally connected to each other, we called it as a cluster. Cluster is a terminology, means even though you have a multiple people are there, but they are the part of same cluster. Cluster means everyone is doing the same work. We call it as a cluster. Now the cluster that we are talking about is a database cluster, which is provided by the Oracle company, and they have given the name like RAC cluster. But don't consider that we have only cluster terminology is related to the Oracle only. If you try to understand about the big data technologies, in big data technologies also there is one more cluster is there. We called it as a Hadoop cluster. What is that terminology? We called it as a Hadoop cluster. So Hadoop cluster means in which you will have a multiple node will be there, and on these nodes will be connected to each other. These nodes will be connected to each other. That is the reason they are calling it as a cluster. But why it is a Hadoop cluster? Because on this node they are going to install Hadoop software. On this node they are going to install a Hadoop software. That is the reason they are calling it as a Hadoop cluster. Now why it is a Oracle cluster? Because you are going to install Oracle software. You are going to install Oracle software on each and every node. And to make this three different node as a cluster, we need to install one more software, and that software we called it as a grid software. Which software you need to install? Grid software. So there are two softwares you need to install on Oracle RAC cluster. You need to install a grid software. This grid software is giving you two things. One is a clusterware software. Clusterware means a software which will make these three machines as a single machine. A clusterware is a software which will, even though these three machines are physically separated from each other, but they will behave like a single machine. And how it is possible? By using a clusterware software. And how are you going to get this clusterware software? By the installation of grid software. Grid software is also useful to one more thing. We called it as a ASM. What is this ASM? ASM is a storage solution where you are going to store your database related files. And in our training we are going to understand about the ASM also. So those people who are quite new to this terminology called what is clusterware, what is ASM, no need to worry, we are going to learn about this thing also. But in a top level or in a high level, if I want to make you understand, we are going to install two machines. We cannot install multiple, means 3-4 machines I cannot install now because of the less resources. What I'm going to do, I am going to install 2 node rack. When I'm saying that 2 node rack means we will have 2 nodes will be there. Let's consider that this is my node 1 and this is my node 2. This node will communicate each other, means this two node 1 and node 2, they will be communicate to each other through the network. They will be communicate to each other through the network. How they are going to communicate? They are going to communicate with each other through the network. Second thing, in order to create this node 1 and node 2 as a cluster, in order to create node 1 and node 2 as a cluster, we need to install one software here. We called it as a grid software. Which software we are going to install? Grid software. because this grid software is giving me two things. What is that? One is ASM, and another thing is it will give me clusterware software, which will help you to create these two machine as a cluster. Now we got to know that, okay, I need to have one software, we called it as a, I got to know one thing, that there are two things are there. I need to install a grid software, node 1 and node 2. That I really understood. Second thing is there. What is that second thing? The second thing is, okay, the second thing is that we need to install, we called it as a, what is that? Database. See, once I get the storage, by using this grid, what I will get? By using this grid, I will get a database. What I will get? By using this grid, I will get a, by using this grid software, I will get ASM. What I will get? I will get ASM. So we are going to install two softwares. One is a grid software, which will give me ASM. So this is my ASM file system. Inside my ASM file system, I am going to store my SP files, control files, data files, that is provided by the grid software. By using the grid software, I can convert this machine. I can convert this machine as my, which machine? I can convert this machine as my RAC machine, which is my clusterware machine. So that's what we are going to do. Okay, that's what we are going to do. So whatever we have discussed till now, are you able to understand? Can you please use the chat option and say yes or no? Whatever we have discussed till now, are you able to understand? Can you please use the chat option and say yes or no? Okay, don't worry, whatever we are going to learn, everything will be practically explained. Okay, so no need to worry about that. Okay, it will be practically explained. I will take care of that. Okay, now so Sunita is saying yes, Nina is saying yes, Vijay is saying yes, Rohit is saying yes, Azmat is saying yes, Sunil is saying yes, Shriti is saying yes, Ali is saying yes. Fine. Acha. Fine. Krishna is saying no. That's okay. Okay. So again, I am repeating one more thing. Those people who are coming to the RAC class, be comfortable with the Oracle DB. Okay, that is the reason I am telling you. Okay, that is the reason I am telling that things. Now what I will do, okay, what I will do, so try to understand the next part. Okay, now just give me a minute. Okay guys, just give me a minute. हरीश, तू कधी काढशील रे बाबा त्याला? हॅलो, त्याला ते मीटिंगमधून कधी काढशील म्हटलं? हॅलो हॅलो, त्याला ते मीटिंगमधून कधी काढशील? अरे यार, तुम्ही मीटिंगवर जरा लक्ष ठेवत जा बाबा. अरे पण ते हे तर पा कमीत कमी चॅट. ते काय पेडवाले लोक आहेत, ते काय म्हणणार, काय काय बोलत आहेत ते लोक त्याच्यावरती. कोण करणार ते आता? काय मी काय क्लास घेऊ काय ते धंदा करू? कोणी असो पण पण ते लक्ष ठेव त्या कल्याणीला पण सांग हे असं व्हायला नाही पाहिजे स्पॅम. आपल्याला काय पोरं पैसे देतात ना काही काही. पण त्या कल्याणीला जॉईन करत जा म्हणा. ते कोणी असो पण ते बरोबर नाही रे. आपले पोरं एवढे पैसे देऊन राहिले ना. Okay, let's try to understand the next part. Okay, now, so any questions so far, guys? Let me know if any questions. Okay, now let's try to understand the next part. Okay, you guys can hear me, right? My voice is clear, right? Yes. Okay, fine. Okay, all right. Now, to make you understand, okay, about this environment, we need to learn about the two softwares. One is a grid software, and another software what we need to use, that is our database software. So most of the people will be comfortable with the database software because by using this database software only you are going to install a database. What about the grid software? Once you are done with the grid software installation, you will be getting ASM, and along with that you will be getting the clusterware software also. You will be getting clusterware software also. Now, so what we will do, we will try to do the installation. Okay, so my first focus is we will try to start with the installation. So to do the installation, I'm going to use my Oracle VirtualBox. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use my Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, so this is the Oracle VirtualBox. How to download it? First of all, go to the Google Chrome. Here, just search it with the download Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, just go here and search it with the download Oracle VirtualBox. You will get the first link related to the VirtualBox. Then click on the Windows host because I'm going to install it on my Windows. So click on the Windows host and it will start downloading over here. Right now I'm canceling it because in my laptop Oracle VirtualBox is already installed. So what is our first step? Try to understand that. The first step is I am going to configure 2-node RAC. What I'm going to do? I am going to configure 2-node RAC. So we will have the node 1. Okay, you consider that this is my node 1. I am going to install a second node. This will be by node number 2. Okay, so we got 2 nodes. We can have multiple nodes also, but I don't have enough resources, or I have a 32 GB RAM, but most of the candidates will not have enough RAM. So we are going to install like node 1 and node 2. Then the first software which I am going to install over here on every node, that is my grid software. Which software I am going to install? That is my grid software. I am going to install grid software. Okay, which software I am going to install? Grid software. Okay, I am going to install the first software is a grid software. Okay, what is the first software I am going to install? That is my grid software. Then once I am done with the grid software, okay, once I'm done with the grid software, then the second part will be, okay, the second part will be, let's try to understand the next part. Someone is spamming me. I don't understand what people like it. Let me do one thing. Just give me a minute, okay? Just give me a minute. What I will do? Security. Okay. Okay, now we should be fine. Okay, now we should be fine. Okay, so what I am going to do, I am going to install my node 1. Okay, I am going to install my node 1. Then I am going to install my node 2. Okay, here I am going to install my grid software, which will give me ASM. This will also give me ASM. So on my node 1, which instance will be up and running? It will be running my ASM1. Here my instance will be running it as ASM2. Okay, how many instances will be running? ASM1 and ASM2. Second thing is, okay, now I need to install one more options. Okay, now I need to install one more options. Okay, that option will be your database software. So I'm going to install a database software here, and I'm going to install a database software here also. Which software? We are going to install Oracle 19c, and we are going to install Oracle 19c here also. Okay, by the installation of grid software, I will get my instance number 1, which is my plus ASM1 and plus ASM2. By the installation of database software, I will get my database instance number 1, and here I will get database instance number 2. Till now, are you able to understand whatever we have discussed, everyone? Able to understand till now? So we are going to install two softwares. One is the grid softwares and another will be your database software. Okay, then the next part will be, you will be having one more location will be here. Okay, you will be having one more location will be here. We called it as a database storage. What will be there? Database storage. This database storage is coming because of the ASM only. Okay, what is ASM? ASM is a database storage where we are going to store your database related files like your ESP file, control files and data files. But RAC is not just about the installation of software. Okay, when you want to configure a RAC, both the nodes should be able to communicate to each other, and for that we need to set up a network in between them. So how that network will be there? Okay, what is private network, public network and everything I'll be discussing in our tomorrow's batch. Okay, that I will discuss. Right now what I'm interested to configure my node number 1 and configure my node number 2. So what we are going to do right now is, I am going to configure my node 1. Okay, now whenever you are going to configure any server, you need to install a software, right? You need to install a operating system. So I'm going to install operating system here like Oracle Enterprise Linux 7.9. I'm going to configure my node number 2, and here also I'm going to install a server, that is your Oracle Enterprise Linux 7.9. So this is the operating system I'm going to install. Once my node 1 and node 2 is ready along with all the prerequisite, then we are going to install your grid software here and grid software and grid software here. Okay, that's the plan. But I want to take these, okay, I want to take these things in the tomorrow's class. I want to finish it today little early. Okay, so meanwhile whatever things we want to discuss, we will take it tomorrow. Okay, so this is the plan. Okay, so let's connect tomorrow, and we will be looking after this, okay, how to install the node 1 and node 2, and then slowly we are going to learn about this architecture part and everything. We have not discussed about anything till now. So let's connect tomorrow, and we will see this how to run these things. Okay, let's connect tomorrow, guys. Thanks. Bye bye. So those people who are interested to join this RAC training, please reach out to my team. And one more thing, today is the last day of demo and all. From tomorrow that will be paid batch, only paid people will be entered. uh, no one will be there from the outside, so you will not find any challenges and anything. So when we take the public classes, sometimes this kind of things happen. We are really sorry for that. But from tomorrow there will be paid batch. You will be completely on unmute. Chat section will be available. You can discuss with me. That will be like very interactive class. Okay, so we'll be doing like that. Fine, yeah, thanks, bye bye. Hadev, hello. हेलो. पुरी अम्मा केली यार हरी देवची याची डेमोची डेमोची. माझं म्हणजे कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन होतं ना ट्रेनिंगसाठी थोडं कॉन्सन्ट्रेशन पाहिजे की नाही. नाही ना, तो काय करून राहिला डायरेक्टली साधा ना नॉर्मली म्हणजे कंटिन्युअसली येऊन राहिला. तो शेवटच्या मुवमेंटली आला होता. शेवटच्या मुवमेंटला एक मिनिट आहे. देव काय म्हणते काय माहिती. हा देव. अरे उसको भी अभी आना था कि गौरव को फोन करो. हाँ, उसको वापस भेजो. अभी कोई नहीं बोलना ऑफिस में. कल आओ बोला. हाँ हरीश. डेमोज मी घेऊच नाही शकलो. मला ना समजतच नव्हतं काय बोलत राहिलो काय नाही. त्यांना लय अलग अलग नावानं. हा 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 हा. नाही मी तो व्हिडिओ तर बंद केला होता करून. व्हिडिओ तर मी केला होता बंद त्याचा. म्हणजे व्हिडिओ तुम्ही कोणाला ऑन नाही करू देत. पण आता ओळखावं कसं. कधी काय वाटते आपल्याला आपला स्टुडंट होय ना. अरे त्याला रेज हँड केला ना. जसं जसा रेज हँड केला ना, ज्याला रेज हँड केला मी त्याच्या समोर जात जावा की हा साला हे आहे. ठीक है, तो कोई स्पैम नहीं रहा है तो